Today we are holding a public meeting of the Gateway Development Commission's Board of Commissioners. Today's meeting is being held in person, but public comments will continue to be solicited virtually. Audio is also being live streamed from the Gateway Program website. The Commission will solicit comments from members of the public who have signed up for in-person comments. The Commission is also soliciting comments from the public that may be participating today virtually. A form for soliciting these comments is posted on the Gateway Program website for those who wish to submit a comment for today's meeting. Acting Secretary Maria Anderson, may I ask you to conduct the roll call and report on the public notice for today's meeting?
Co-Chair Glenn.
Here.
Co-Chair Graywall-Verk.
Here.
Vice Chair Kosha.
Here.
Commissioner Herlinsky.
Here.
Commissioner Rosen.
Here.
Commissioner Dominguez.
Here.
Commissioner Barbas is absent. We have a quorum. Adequate notice of today's regular public meeting of the Board of Commissioners of the Gateway Development Commission has been provided in accordance with the Commission's enabling legislation. The agenda and public documents pertaining to the board meeting have been made publicly available on the Gateway Program website. Notice of the meeting was posted to the website 5 business days before the meeting, and public notice of the time and place of the meeting was provided to appropriate media outlets. A video recording of this meeting will be posted on the Gateway Program website.
Thank you. As you all may have noticed during the roll call, we have a change to a New Jersey commissioner on the board, so we sort of got to the plot without giving you all of the clues. But I wanted to take this moment just to express a really warm welcome to Victor Herlinsky, who I've known for many years, and I think is going to be a terrific addition to the board. And also, again, my gratitude to Janine Bauer for her many, many contributions to the board over the years, and we wish her nothing but all the best. I'd also just like to ask my co-chair, Balpreet Verk, to make a statement on behalf of the board regarding former Commissioner Bauer and our new Commissioner Herlinsky.
Thank you, Co-Chair Glenn. I actually wrote this down so I can remember everything I'm about to say. I'd like to take a moment to recognize the outstanding contributions of Janine Bauer, who is concluding her service as a New Jersey Commissioner on the Gateway Development Commission. Ms. Bauer played a pivotal role in every stage of the Gateway Development Commission's formation, efforts that were instrumental in building the strong partnerships we now have with NJ Transit, the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, and of course Amtrak. Her leadership was also key in securing the full funding grant agreement that underpins the Hudson Tunnel project. On the behalf of the Commission, we extend our deepest gratitude, Janine, for her dedication, her vision, and her tireless service. Her expertise and unwavering commitment to advancing one of the nation's most critical infrastructure projects has been invaluable. Thank you so much, Janine, for your time here. And at the same time, I am pleased to welcome Mr. Victor Herlinsky as the newest commissioner of the Gateway Development Commission. Mr. Herlinsky is a distinguished attorney at Sills, Cummins & Gross, specializing in commercial litigation, land use, and redevelopment law. I have had the privilege of knowing Victor for over 20 years and can personally attest to his integrity, thoughtfulness, and steadfast commitment to public service. Victor brings a wealth of legal and civic experience along with a collaborative spirit that will be tremendous as an asset here as a commissioner at Gateway. We look forward to his leadership as well as continuing advancing the vital infrastructure project that we are working on that strengthens our region and, of course, our very important communities. Thank you, Victor, for being here at your first GDC meeting. It's just a pleasure to have you alongside Commissioner Rosen. Welcome aboard, and thank you, Co-Chair Glenn, for the time. And before I give it back to Co-Chair Victor, I don't know if you want to say a few words about being here this morning.
Yes, my only fear in accepting this appointment is I'm going to get credit for tremendous work that's been done before I even got here. My partner, Jerry Zarrow, was one of the original commissioners. Janine Bauer, who I know 25 years, going back to our early days with Senator Booker, is somebody that I have a lot of respect for, and I feel that I have very big shoes to fit into. I'm looking forward to working not only with my New Jersey commissioners. I know Alicia Glenn for a number of years. We've worked on projects together. I'm looking forward to meeting my other commissioners. And I'm very excited to get to a point, I've already taken a tour of the sites. It's amazing how much work has been done. it's amazing how much work still has to be done. And that's what I'm really excited to be part of. I'm looking forward, I see even on the agenda today, we're going to, at some point, have a delegation to our Chief Executive Officer to help our friends in labor, and particularly the tens of thousands of hardworking building trades people that we are now going to be able to help make sure that they have good jobs that pay well, and we can help move this along with people that are experienced at the work that they have. And I look forward to seeing this project to completion, albeit in 2035. Thank you.
Thank you, Co-Chair Grewal-Burke. Thank you, Victor. And also, please don't take the fact that there's no New York people physically there as any sign of disrespect. New York is excited to have you, and I promise we'll all be back in the fall. And I know that my fellow New York commissioners are looking forward to meeting you in person and getting you up to speed, and I'm sure Tony feels the same way as well. The next item on today's agenda is a report on the minutes of the May 2025 meeting of the board. I will now turn to Ms. Anderson for a report on the minutes of that meeting.
Copies of the minutes of the meeting of May 20th, 25 were delivered in electronic form by me to the governors of New York and New Jersey on May 20th, 2025. The time for action by the governors of New York and New Jersey expired at midnight on June 4th, 2025, at which time actions recorded in the minutes went into full force and effect.
Thank you. We will now turn to the GDC staff for an update on the Gateway program.
Morning.
Good morning.
No? Okay. Okay. All right.
Can't really tell what's going on over there. Are we putting up some slides?
Alicia, we're going to public comment first.
Oh, we are. Okay.
So if you want to go ahead.
Sure. Okay. So then we'll circle back
Yes.
for
We'll
the
go back
staff
to Tom
update.
and
Okay. Okay. Sorry, I didn't realize that we were. Apologies again for not being physically there. I know for the record that the commission has solicited virtual comments from the public in advance of and during today's meeting. A form for soliciting these comments was posted to the GDC website in advance of the meeting. The comment form for virtual participation is available throughout today's meeting. The commission received one virtual public comment by 5 p.m. on Sunday, July 7th, 2025 from the following. Actually, it sounds like two. Nathan Kilbert, United Steelworkers International Union, and from Joshua Berman from the Regional Plan Association. If any virtual comments are received during today's meeting, they will be distributed to the board and posted on the Gateway Program website after today's meeting. All public comments received will also be filed in the commission's records. Ms. Anderson will now conduct the public comment period for those speakers who have registered in person today. Thanks, Maria.
Today, we have 9 registered speakers. Speakers, in order to give everyone an opportunity to be heard, we request you limit your comments to 3 minutes. In accordance with the GDC Open Meetings Policy, the public comment period may be limited to 30 minutes. The first speaker is Rob Harms from George Harms Construction.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Rob Harms, and I am the CEO of George Harms Construction Company. As you may know, Harms is one of 4 shortlisted teams on the New Jersey Surface Alignment Project and is preparing a proposal for this project. It would be a disservice to both Gateway Development Commission and the public to take action to approve item 0725-04, that would effectively prevent Harms from bidding, thus reducing competition. Harms is a signatory to United Steelworkers, USW, a union that is fully qualified to perform this type of work. Since entering into our first collective bargaining agreement with the USW in the early 1970s, we have successfully completed more than $3.5 billion in major heavy highway and rail infrastructure projects together. Notably, Harms has been the successful bidder on the New Jersey Transit Raritan and Delco lead projects. These projects collectively are worth $750 million. Harms contract prices combined were over $210 million less than the next qualified bidder. Despite this proven track record, it appears neither the USW nor Harms was contacted by the GDC or by the firm hired to perform the PLA feasibility study. This is especially concerning given that there were no wording in the RFQ documents about the potential requirement of a PLA until after the RFQ process was complete. In other words, Harms was deemed qualified to bid, and yet the Commission still moved forward with a PLA that excludes the very union we are organized with. If the PLA proceeds without including USW, Harms will be unable to bid on the project. That outcome would unfairly and unnecessarily reduce the pool of qualified bidders. The Commission should be working to ensure robust competition and avoid taking steps to exclude experienced contractors like Harms. I'm fearful your actions have the potential to delay this project and may lead to potential loss of federal funding, which this Commission relies heavily on. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Connie DeBerry, Fox Rothschild.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Corinne DeBerry. I'm a partner with the law firm Fox Rothschild. Fox represents George Harms Construction Company, Inc., a heavy highway and rail construction contractor in New Jersey. Harms is pre-qualified for the New Jersey Surface Alignment Project and is organized with the New Jersey local of the United Steelworkers Union, which appears to be excluded from the intended project labor agreement. Item 072504's exclusion of the USW is unlawful and will prevent Harms from being able to bid the project. Competitive bidding laws in New Jersey do not permit the exclusion of a qualified source of union labor. The New Jersey Supreme Court in George Harms versus the New Jersey Turnpike Authority held that a PLA by its nature already restricts competition, and so excluding a qualified union arbitrarily further restricts those same goals. These issues have been the subject of a 10-year litigation with another bi-state agency. The difference between that agency and this one is that there was a question of whether that agency has to follow New Jersey law. Here, there is no such question, because the project is located in New Jersey and the GDC's own guidelines therefore require adherence to New Jersey law. Exclusion of a qualified union from this PLA would unequivocally violate New Jersey's competitive bidding laws. When the USW was excluded from the PLA for the Palisades Tunnel project, Harms raised its concerns for fear that the USW would be excluded in the future. Harms was told in no uncertain terms that the reason for the exclusion was because they were not pre-qualified and none of the contractors that were pre-qualified were organized with the USW. This time, Harms is pre-qualified, and it appears the USW will be excluded again, which will prevent Harms from bidding this contract. Notably, at the time for the request of qualifications, there was no indication from the Commission that it intended to use a PLA, but rather this was added after Harms, a USW contractor, was already pre-qualified. There is no legitimate reason for this exclusion. As the Commission saw from the USW in their public comment for today, the USW wants to be included, is equally qualified and deserving of this work, and will be harmed if excluded. On behalf of Harms, we request that the USW be included as a signatory to any PLA. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Carlo Caza from the New York Building Congress.
Good morning. Members of the GDC Board, my name is Carlo Caza. I'm the Director of Policy and Research at the New York Building Congress. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. The Building Congress represents over 500 organizations and over 250,000 skilled tradespeople and professionals, all dedicated to the growth and prosperity of this region. We strongly support the GDC's progress towards an upgraded Northeast Corridor. We applaud your work on the entire Gateway program, and we look forward to a new and improved Hudson Tunnel project. First, I'd like to highlight the incredible progress you've made in just 1 year. Last July, crews had just started clearing the first section of the Tennelle Avenue Bridge. Excavation at the Hudson Yards concrete casing had not yet begun. The Palisades and Manhattan Tunnel contracts were still out for bid. Today, the project plows ahead, with shovels in the dirt and good-paying construction jobs already making an impact for families across both shores. Marine work in the river remains on schedule, and the main tunnel packages have been awarded without breaking the budget. Riders who sit through delays can finally see concrete progress towards a second reliable link under the Hudson. Thank you for your tireless work to get us this far. Your efforts have yielded real, tangible results that will give the region the dependable rail service we have long waited for. The Building Congress also welcomes Victor Herlinski to the board, and we look forward to working with him. We thank Commissioner Janine Bauer for guiding Gateway through its early success, and we are also excited for the recent GDC hires, James Starris and Hamed Najad. And a special thank you to Tom Prendergast for your leadership. A new two-track crossing is no longer an idea on paper. It is under construction, creating jobs and securing the region's future, on time and under budget. We stand ready to help Gateway keep up that momentum. Thank you all for your leadership.
Thank you. The next speaker is Eugene Sinigalliano for 251 West 30th Street Residential Tenants Association.
Hi, Commissioners. My name is Eugene Sinigalliano, and I represent my Midtown West community to the immediate south of Penn Station, which is at risk of destruction due to a proposed extension of Penn Station to the south to add alleged future capacity needs. I am the only resident of this at-risk neighborhood who is allowed to be a member of the Penn Station Working Advisory Group and its earlier itinerations. My community is extremely upset because under the railroad's plan to date, we stand to lose our homes, businesses, several historic buildings, and our beautiful St. John the Baptist Church. This all despite the fact that Governor Hochul and local elected officials are looking to protect our block, but still the railroads have not taken their wastefully expensive demolition plan off the table. None of this neighborhood demolition would happen if we were to adapt the transit operating model in the footprint of today's Penn Station in use in most of our competitor cities called through running, which is the international gold standard for commuter rail. We are outraged that the railroads have refused to properly evaluate or model capacity needs at Penn Station. The railroads and their paid consultants have not even used simulation capacity modeling software, RTC, that they all regularly utilize. Flying blind without using RTC, the railroads have not come up with a terminal track configuration that would allow them to achieve 48 trains per hour through pending gateway tunnels. Yet they seek to disqualify the through-running plans of Rethink New York City and others, alleging, with no RTC calculations, that these plans will not attain 48 trains per hour. Tens of millions of dollars have likely already been spent on this insincere charade when a neighborhood and tens of billions of the public's hard-earned tax dollars are at stake. As a result, we welcome the bona fide independent study to be performed at the behest of the Federal Railroad Administration, recently disclosed by Andy Byford. Mr. Byford said he would be amazed if RTC calculations were not part of the exercise. Until this independent review is properly done, all talk or planning to demolish my neighborhood should not even be happening. The railroads, the RPA, the Municipal Art Society, the Grand Penn Community Alliance, the Tri-State Transportation Campaign, and others should formally withdraw any part of their plans or their alternate plans which advocate for or flirt with demolishing my neighborhood, whether in whole or in part. I ask this body to specifically request that the FRA fairly utilize RTC calculations in their capacity analysis of terminal track and through running plans at Penn Station. None of us, most especially this body, should stand complacent any longer on this subject. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Samuel Turvey, Rethink New York City.
Thank you, Commissioners, and good morning. As decisions are made about the Gateway projects, the truly transformative transit and economic benefits of a through-running conversion at Penn Station need to be front and center. From a transit perspective, through-running can provide more capacity than a terminal track solution and much better service. It can help get 400,000 cross-regional commuters off the Cross Bronx Expressway, the Cross Westchester Expressway, Broome Street, and since the Jersey folks are here, Route 3 and all the other roads we love so much. The economic benefits are similarly profound. For starters, through-running can help greatly with the region's affordability crisis, which dominated the city's recent mayoral primary. Through-running will do this by enabling the region's transformation from a monocentric structure dependent on an overburdened Midtown Manhattan to a resilient polycentric model which extends deeply into the region. Such a transformation is needed as the affordability problem we face is much bigger than just amending zoning regulations, transferring air rights, or funding infrastructure with pilots, which simply do not have the scalability to truly meet the crisis we are in. How? By integrating all commuter lines, the project will grant key hubs along the Northeast Corridor, particularly Newark and Western Queens. They will gain unprecedented access to the entire regional labor market, which only Manhattan presently shares. Other outlying cities, including Paterson, New Brunswick, Montclair, Morristown, Red Bank, Jamaica, Mineola, Yonkers, White Plains, and Stamford, would similarly benefit. This shift will more evenly distribute an anticipated flood tide of economic growth throughout the region, fostering lower commercial cost, adding residential units, and relieving the immense cost pressures on Midtown. More companies will be able to stay in the region instead of leaving. The high-capacity polycentric model made possible by through-running is a proven strategy in many global cities, London and Paris to name just two. London is on its third through-running iteration, while New York is still awaiting its first. Polycentric cities can better absorb population growth by increasing the supply of desirable transit-connected housing across multiple centers of business activity instead of over-concentrating on one. Manhattan, by the way, will not lose out, as it will remain at the epicenter of a growing region where thoughtful pan-regional development will thrive as seldom before. The unwitting race for Manhattan to only grow vertically and become Shanghai or Dubai can end. This type of metropolitan integration and expansion is not unprecedented in New York. It occurred after the 1898 consolidation of the 5 boroughs and with the subway's integration under Mayor LaGuardia. Will there be a time for us in the first half of this century? Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Liam Blank from the City Club of New York.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Liam Blank. I'm the chair of the Transportation Infrastructure Committee for the City Club of New York. I commend you on the tangible progress on the Gateway program. The site of construction on the $16 billion Hudson Tunnel project is a monumental achievement. That investment buys one thing: capacity. The central question now, in this new era of federal leadership under Andy Byford, is how we design a station that unleashes that capacity rather than strangles it. For years, the default answer to this question has been a costly and destructive southern expansion. This long-held preference was seemingly justified last fall with the conclusion of the October 2024 feasibility study commissioned by the railroad partners, which dismissed all in-station solutions. But a forensic reading of that study reveals a critical fact. It confirmed that one through-running concept, the limited track and platform reconfiguration plan, modeled off of the Rethink NYC plan, is physically constructible with manageable service disruptions. The railroad's own analysis shows a buildable, lower cost, lower impact path exists. It was dismissed not on engineering grounds, but on subjective operational modeling, a model that is now obsolete. The debate over whether through running is operationally feasible is over. Amtrak itself has settled it in its own plan, announced in May, to run seamless one-seat service from Washington, D.C. through Penn Station and onto Long Island Railroad tracks to Ronkonkoma, proves that coordinating agencies and integrating power systems is not an insurmountable barrier. It is an active, approved project. The old arguments have collapsed under the weight of new facts and new leadership. Recognizing this, Mr. Byford announced last week that the Federal Railroad Administration will now conduct a new, truly independent service optimization study. This brings the GDC to a pivotal moment. You must protect your investment. Can we risk the success of your $16 billion tunnel on a massive, high-risk annex managed by an agency whose own Inspector General flagged ad hoc management and a 69% cost overrun on its last major New York project? Or do we embrace a more prudent path that aligns with established federal policy? The FRA's own NEC Future Plan, the controlling vision for the future of this region, explicitly calls for run-through services at Penn Station to create greater transportation and economic benefits. Therefore, we urge this commission to fulfill its fiduciary duty by passing a formal resolution with 2 points. It is one, that it is the position of the GDC that any plan for Penn Station must, as a baseline, accommodate the full 48 trains per hour capacity of the gateway tunnels. And 2, the GDC formally requests that the new independent FRA study use the constructible Rethink NYC concept as its baseline for analysis, consistent with FRA's own NEC future policy. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Layla Law Jasico for the City Club of New York.
Thank you, Commissioners, for the opportunity to testify. My name is Layla Logizico. I am the President of the City Club of New York. Let me begin with the obvious. The City Club strongly supports the Gateway Tunnel project. We have always believed that expanding Trans-Hudson rail capacity is essential for the economic health and climate resilience of the entire Northeast Corridor. But support for the tunnel does not mean support for every element of the project as currently conceived. And today, I must speak to one such element that has already been discussed by my former speakers, the proposed southward expansion of Penn Station and the acquisition of Block 780. At the moment, the new tunnel tracks align with a southern expansion, but we do not need a south end stub-end terminal. It's a relic of outdated thinking. It would lock us into a dead-end Penn Station instead of unlocking through running service, exactly what global best practices demand and what this region so sorely lacks. No one is asking for this extension. You've heard it today. Not the public, not the residents of Block 780, not transit experts, not Amtrak Special Advisor Andy Byford, who has spoken emphatically in favor of through running, not the US DOT, who has been critical of the previous Penn Station plans. Is the Gateway Commission still advancing a plan that no one wants? Why are we even discussing the seizure of Block 780, displacing residents and businesses, when there is no compelling operational justification? The City Club urges the Gateway Commission to pivot urgently and decisively, focus on compelling the tunnel, and change the track alignment. Invest in modern rail operations, prioritize through running and regional integration, not expensive dead-end track that serves no future. This is a once-in-a-century investment. Let's not repeat the mistakes of the last one. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Morgan Martine for Luna.
Good morning. My name is Morgan Martyr, and I represent New Jersey LESIT, the Labor Management Cooperative of the Labor's International Union of North America, or also known as LIUNA. We are one of the primary crafts that build our tunnels, tracks, and bridges, and I'm here to extend our appreciation for and the support of the use of project labor agreements on Gateway program projects. I would like to thank the Gateway Development Commission for the opportunity to speak, but more importantly, for helping to deliver the largest, most critical, and most complex set of infrastructure projects in the nation today. Projects that will serve this region and this country for generations to come. Simply put, we see the use of PLAs on large, complex projects, both in the public sector and the private sector, because they work. By creating pre-hire work rules and setting standards for all contractors, subcontractors, and craft workers You are helping to ensure your projects are delivered with efficiency, effectiveness, and within budget. Of course, all PLAs are different based on project specifics and needs, but what remains the same is the value to large-scale capital programs like Gateway. In summary, the use of project labor agreements and the hiring of Jim Starris are both positive steps for the Gateway program, and on behalf of New Jersey Lesset and the Laborers International Union of North America, we are proud to support both actions. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker and final speaker is Joshua Berman for the Regional Plan Association.
Morning, Commissioners. My name is Josh Berman. I'm the Campaigns Manager with Regional Plan Association and the convener of the Build Gateway Now Coalition. It's remarkable to see how far the Gateway Development Commission has come on the Hudson Tunnel project in just 1 year since securing full federal funding. This time last year, excavation was just beginning at key sites, and major contracts for the Palisades and Manhattan Tunnel segments had yet to be awarded. Today, thanks to the GDC team's expertise and the leadership of the board, the project is on time, on budget, and well on its way to delivering the modern, resilient rail infrastructure our region urgently needs. To complete these critical and complex projects, GDC will need to have top-notch engineering talent. This is especially important as excavation is already underway and tunnel boring is on the horizon. We'll need the best of the best working on this project, which is why RPA would like to applaud GDC for bringing on Jim Starris as the new Chief of Program Delivery and for transitioning Hamid Najad into the role of Chief Engineer. Together, Jim and Hamid will get these projects done on scope, schedule, and budget. Reliable rail service is the backbone of our region's economy and a key to supporting a growing, dynamic workforce. More and more workers are commuting from west of the Hudson, and dependable, on-time trains are essential not just for a strong quality of life, but for attracting talent and fueling long-term economic growth. For hourly workers especially, reliable service means real opportunity, ensuring every minute counts towards building a stable and thriving future. RPA is proud to stand with the Gateway Development Commission and our partners in the Build Gateway Now Coalition to advance a modern, resilient, and equitable transportation system. The Hudson Tunnel project is a transformative investment that will deliver lasting benefits for generations to come. RPA would also like to congratulate Victor Herlinski on his confirmation to the GDC Board of Commissioners, and we look forward to working with him in support of this critical work. We would also like to extend our sincere thanks to Commissioner Janine Bauer for her dedicated service and key role in GDC's early success. Thank you.
Thank you. There are no more speakers. And Co-Chair Glenn, you may now turn to GD staff for an update on the Gateway program.
Thank you very much. Can we please have the update?
Thank you very much, Co-Chair Glenn and Commissioners. For a $16 billion project, we need to take opportunities like this to show you with pictures and words exactly what is being done. So that's what I'm going to try to do right now. We plan to use today's meeting to have a mid-year progress update on the Hudson Tunnel project and a look ahead for the next steps. Before we delve into the progress update, I want to take a moment to welcome Victor Herlinski to the Board of Commissioners, as many people have already stated. Victor's deep roots in New Jersey, experience with large-scale construction projects, and long track record of public service make him a valuable addition to the board. I know that he's already hit the ground running with a tour of our construction sites in the past week. I look forward to working with him and the rest of the co-chairs and commissioners to keep the project moving forward. And I also like to thank outgoing Commissioner Bauer for her support and hard work, which played an important part in building the GDC structure into the significant, sophisticated organization it now is. I'm proud to say that the Hudson Tunnel project continues to advance on schedule and within budget. We can confidently say that this project is exactly where it needs to be now that we are 2 years into its 15-year construction timeframe. 2 projects are more than halfway finished, and we are on track to reach substantial completion of the Tunnelly Avenue project this October. The first set of tunnel boring machines are being built and will arrive next year. Construction is already creating thousands of jobs and driving billions in economic activity. We expect to award one more construction contract by early 2026 and another soon after that. The Tunnelly Avenue project was the first Hudson Tunnel project construction to break ground, and it is now nearly complete. The project is setting the stage for tunnel boring by building a new roadway bridge that will provide the access point to bring the tunnel boring machine into the new tunnel under the Palisades. The project will also enable construction teams to access staging sites on both sides of the highway without disrupting traffic, which I believe is the second most heavily utilized piece of road infrastructure in the state of New Jersey. When the tunnel is complete and the work is done as part of this effort, it will enable trains to pass under the Tunnelly Avenue roadway to go into and out of the new tunnel. The team has been building the new bridge in sections so that traffic can continue in both directions during construction. On July 8th, we shifted traffic onto the newly built middle section of the bridge, enabling work to start on the western section. This marked the transition into the final stage of the project. And for the final stage of the project, our team is excavating the eastern side of Tunnelly Avenue to level it with the western side. And once that excavation is done, the concrete work for the final section of the bridge can be built. The contractors on both sides of Tunnelly Avenue are working in very close coordination as we approach the point where the site will be handed off to the Palisades Tunnel team. We are now in the home stretch, and the project will be completed this fall. Across the Hudson River, we have our second project that is more than 50% complete. It's called the Hudson Yards Concrete Casing Project, Section 3, and it crossed the halfway point in May of this year. HYCC 3 is preserving the rail right-of-way beneath the Hudson Yards so that a new tunnel can connect to the New York Penn Station from the west. Precision is critical here. The concrete casing has to match the elevation of Penn Station at the lower level, and if it is off by even a few inches, the tunnel will not connect. Excavation and dewatering of the trench that will hold the tunnel box is now in progress. The trench is now 65 feet deep at its deepest point, and when complete, it will be 80 feet deep. The team has removed more than 50,000 tons of soil and more than 2 million gallons of water. To get to this point, the team had to install 337 secant piles to hold up the walls of the trench and create more than 277 columns of stabilized earth using jet grouting. As they excavated the trench, the team installed yellow struts to support the walls, and there are now 64 struts supporting the sides of the trench. Work is also underway on installing the tiebacks and concrete liner that will hold the walls back while the excavation continues. The next step after excavation and installing the struts will be pouring concrete for the tunnel box. This will be among New York City's largest concrete pours in recent history, and we expect the work to begin later this year. In the Hudson River, and I'm sure you can all see when you look out there, is the Hudson River Ground Stabilization Project, which is mixing concrete into the riverbed to create a stable environment for the tunnel boring machines to go through when the tunnel is being constructed. The team is accomplishing this using a process called deep soil mixing, in which a powerful drill advances a mixing tool as binder slurry is pumped through the connecting drill steel, mixing soil to the target depth. The process constructs soilcrete columns, and so far the team has mixed 248 primary columns, 180 secondary columns, and 42 wedge elements to fill the spaces between the columns. The end result will be a 1,200-foot long, 100-foot wide light-weight concrete box at the bottom of the Hudson River. The work area is enclosed within a temporary cofferdam to shield against river currents and protect the river ecosystem during construction. The team has begun moving the mobile wall within the cofferdam further east, and soon work will begin to shift the entire cofferdam toward Manhattan. Work also recently began to remove a timber pile field from the remnants of Piers 68 and 69 on the west side of Manhattan. To ensure work can move ahead safely, the team dredged the river bottom to remove overburden, a buildup of silt and sediment. This is done to prevent vessels that are navigating the channels around the work site from getting stuck in the mud. Right next to Tunnelly Avenue on the other side of the river going back to New Jersey is the Palisades Tunnel Project team. And they're building a portal where the tunnel boring machines will launch to go east. The tunnel boring machines are being manufactured now and will arrive next year. They will be shipped in pieces, lowered into place right there at Tunnelly Avenue via steel baskets and assembled right in front of the cliff face where they will begin digging. They're massive machines. The cutter-head is more than 28 feet in diameter, and the gantry will stretch back 500 feet. Because that's where all the spoils are basically taken out, removed, and then taken away from the site. That's longer than a football field. The team has built a massive access ramp to enable support of excavation work around the tunnel boring machine launch point, and recently began building the secant pile wall to prevent the soil from collapsing onto the tunnel portal while they excavate it. Machines this big also need their own power source. Our team will be installing a substation to power the tunnel boring machines through the Palisades. The Palisades Tunnel Project also includes building the Hudson County shaft in Weehawken on the other side of the Palisades that will be used to replace the TBMs that dig through the hard rock that the Palisades consist of. They are pressure-faced machines that are optimized for tunneling through mixed rock and softer ground under the Hudson River. The shaft will be used to enable removal of the tunnel boring machines, and when complete, it will measure approximately 130 feet wide and 120 feet deep. The first step in building the shaft is installation of a slurry wall, which forms the perimeter of the shaft, providing structural support. The team is currently installing guide walls to ensure the slurry walls are aligned properly, and we are installing a noise barrier around the construction site because there are residences right there. Back in Manhattan, work is getting started on the Manhattan Tunnel Project across the street from the Hudson Yards concrete casing project. This project is building the portion of the tunnel from the Manhattan bulkhead at the river's edge to the western limits of the Hudson Yards concrete casing. And although the project is only building 700 feet of tunnel, it is one of the most complicated construction packages. Due to the presence of historic fill along Manhattan's western shore, as well as active sewer and utility lines, the Manhattan Tunnel Project requires careful planning and precise execution in terms of construction. We awarded the contract for this project this past February, and construction activities started this spring. The work to date has involved surveying and test pit excavations to understand the below-ground conditions, along with ground stabilization to prepare for excavation. Soon the team will begin building the 12th Avenue shaft. This is a shaft much like the one on the Weehawken side, but this will be on the Manhattan side, and will be constructed the same way with slurry walls that will form the basis of the sides of the shaft. Constructing the slurry walls will require our team to also build a temporary water treatment plant on Block 675 to support that work. That concludes the presentation in terms of the status of the project. I'd like now to talk about the one recent addition and promotion on the team that is delivering this project for the Gateway Development Commission. Jim Starace, as you can see, the Hudson Tunnel Project. This is one of the most urgent passenger rail projects in the country, and it requires the best of the best, as somebody has already been quoted as saying. I'm thrilled to announce that Jim Starace will be joining the GDC team as the Chief of Program Delivery in August. Jim brings over 40 years of experience delivering large-scale transit projects in the New York, New Jersey region to the table. As Chief of Program Delivery, he will oversee all aspects of remaining design and engineering, construction, interface management, and other technical work areas. He will also work closely with GDC's partners to identify and proactively mitigate risks that could impact the project schedule or budget. Ahmed Nejad has been now serving as the Acting Chief Technical Officer since September of 2024, will move into the role of Chief Engineer of GDC. Ahmed has been an incredible asset to the GDC team, and during his time as Acting Chief Technical Officer, he has overseen work to advance the Hudson Tunnel Project construction projects past the halfway point, the start of the first tunnel boring project, and the award of the largest Hudson Tunnel Project construction contract to date. In his new role, Ahmed will continue to oversee the technical elements of project design and construction, including design review, value engineering, quality control, permitting, and environmental compliance, as well as safety and construction management. That concludes the presentation and the introduction of the two new employees, one new employee and one promotion of employee to a new role. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tom, very much for that update. Prior now to finishing the remainder of the agenda for today's meeting, I would like to be making a motion to enter into executive session to discuss internal matters, contract negotiations, personnel matters, and matters in which the release of information could impair a right to receive funds from the United States. After the executive session, the board will reconvene to finish the balance of the agenda, and then we will conclude the meeting appropriately. I would like to make a motion to enter into executive session to discuss internal matters, contract negotiations, personnel matters, and matters in which the release of information could impair a right to receive funds from the United States or other grantor. May I have a motion? I made the motion. May I have a second?
Second, Lisha.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. We will now go into executive session. Thank you very much. We are returning from executive session, and we are going to continue our agenda and turn to the GDC staff for a presentation of the action items. Tom.
Okay. Thank you. We have three professional service actions for consideration. The first of three items before the board today are related to contracts for professional services for GGC's work in terms of security. We arrived at the recommendations we are presenting today through a comprehensive procurement process that involved evaluating multiple firms for each contract to ensure GDC derives at the best value. The first item of the three, excuse me. Okay. The first item of the three is the selection to create a comprehensive security framework across all GDC construction sites, including for site security. It includes security planning, personnel, equipment, and technology services. The contract for site security will be a 5-year base term with 2 one-year extension options at GDC's discretion. We are recommending the firm Mulligan Security, LLC, to receive this contract. The second contract before the board, second of the three contracts before the board today, will support GDC's procurement team to ensure the delivery of timely award of the contract packages remaining on the Hudson Tunnel project. The contract for the procurement support services will be a 7-year base term with an option for a 1-year extension. The recommended firm for this award is WSP USA. And those are the initial two. And our CFO, Pat McCoy, will speak to the next item, the third procurement that's before the board today. Pat?
The final contract before the board today for consideration is for auditing services. In accordance with the GDC Act, the bylaws and requirements of federal funding, GDC must have its financial statements audited by an independent CPA firm. The recommended firm will perform GDC's annual independent audits, single audits, and provide supplemental audit services as needed. The proposed contract will be for a 5-year base term with the option for 2 1-year extensions. And staff recommends SC&H Attest Services PC to be awarded this contract. Next, Catherine Rinaldi, Executive Vice President.
Thanks, Pat. Project labor agreements, or PLAs, are pre-hire agreements that create consistent, predictable rules for the terms and conditions of employment on a construction project. PLAs benefit workers and enable GDC to build efficiently by giving contractors access to an experienced, well-trained pool of workers who can quickly mobilize, and creating opportunities for apprenticeship programs such as the Helmets to Hard Hats initiative, which promotes veterans into the construction trades. Today, the board is being asked to delegate authority to the CEO to execute PLAs for the Hudson River Tunnel and New Jersey Surface Alignment projects, as described in more detail in the board resolutions. In addition, the Hudson River PLA includes specific provisions to address staffing, jurisdictional, and wage benefit concerns that arise due to the bi-state nature of that construction package.
The first item for the...
Go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead, Tom.
Okay. The first item for the board's consideration today is entitled the authorization of award of contract GDC 25-028-OP for site security services to support the Hudson Tunnel project.
Thank you. Do any of the commissioners wish to comment? Is there a motion from a commissioner to consider this resolution?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Ernie? I move this vote to a vote. Ms. Anderson, please call the roll.
Co-Chair Glenn,
Yes.
Co-Chair Gray-Walverk,
Yes.
Vice Chair Kosha,
Yes.
Commissioner Herlinsky,
Yes.
Commissioner Dominguez,
Yes.
Commissioner Rosen.
Yes.
The motion passes.
Really quick, if you're making a motion in your remote, can you state your name because we can't tell who it is at our end? Thanks.
Thank you.
The second action item for the board's consideration today is entitled Authorization of Award of Contract GDC-25-030-OP for procurement support services to support the Hudson Tunnel project.
Thank you. Do any of the commissioners wish to comment on this item? Is there a motion from a commissioner to consider this resolution?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion? I move this motion to a vote. Ms. Anderson, please call the roll.
Co-Chair Glenn,
Yes.
Co-Chair Gray-Walverk,
Yes.
Vice Chair Kosha,
Yes.
Commissioner Herlinsky,
Yes.
Commissioner Dominguez,
Yes.
Commissioner Rosen.
Yes.
The motion passes.
The third action item for the board's consideration today is entitled Authorization of Award of Contract GDC 25-032-OP for auditing services to support the Hudson Tunnel project.
Thank you. Do any of the commissioners wish to comment on this item? Is there a motion from a commissioner to consider this resolution?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. I move this motion to a vote. Ms. Anderson, please call the roll.
Co-Chair Glenn,
Yes.
Co-Chair Gray-Walverk,
Yes.
Vice Chair Kosha,
Yes.
Commissioner Herlinsky,
Yes.
Commissioner Dominguez,
Yes.
Commissioner Rosen.
Yes.
The motion passes.
The fourth action item for the board's consideration today is entitled Hudson Tunnel Project, New Jersey Surface Alignment, Delegation of Authority to Chief Executive Officer to execute labor agreement.
Thank you, Tom. I would like to note for the record that this item has been amended to require the CEO to return to the Board of Commissioners for a vote on the final form of the PLA. Do any of the commissioners wish to comment on this item? Is there a motion from a commissioner to consider this resolution?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
I'll second it.
That was Tony.
That's fine,
Kosha.
Tony Kosha.
Any discussion? I move this motion to a vote. Ms. Anderson, please call the roll.
Co-Chair Glenn,
Yes.
Co-Chair Gray-Walverk,
Yes.
Vice Chair Kosha,
Yes.
Commissioner Herlinsky,
Yes.
Commissioner Dominguez,
Yes.
Commissioner Rosen. Yes. The motion passes.
The fifth action item for the board's consideration today is entitled Hudson Tunnel Project, Hudson River Tunnel, Delegation of Authority to Chief Executive Officer to execute labor agreement.
Thank you. Do any of the commissioners wish to comment? Is there a motion from a commissioner to consider this resolution?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? I move this motion to a vote. Ms. Anderson, please call the roll.
Co-Chair Glenn,
Yes.
Co-Chair Gray-Walverk,
Yes.
Vice Chair Kosha,
Yes.
Commissioner Herlinsky,
Yes.
Commissioner Dominguez,
Yes.
Commissioner Rosen.
Yes.
The motion passes.
Thank you. I do wish to note for the record that when we did exit executive session, I'd like to confirm that we had a quorum to reconvene the general meeting. Ms. Anderson, do we have a quorum for all the actions we just took?
Yes.
Thank you. There being no further business to conduct today, I make a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. I move this motion to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 The motion is approved and the meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.